Hello again. Today I'm going to have a go at showing you how I made this little card. It is a fun one. I love this bunny. You can get him in a couple of places. As far as I was concerned, he was by Alexander Renker. But on the Charlie and Porchen site, he's there with his stool by a French company, I think. So you can get him in a variety of places. What he's sitting on, this little wall, is a set of dies too from the greetery. There was a time when I used to have to get my stamps and dies and things from the greetery from a friend of mine who lives in California, and she would get them and send them on to me. But there is now a stockist in the UK who sells the greetery stamps, and that is Seven Hills Craft, my friend Tara. So this is the die. So what I did was this. I decided he was going to sit on a bit of this wall. So I started off by die cutting this front panel, and then turning it over. I put this in my Cuttlebug actually, because it's a looser cut, and some of these are, in fact, are not cut right through. This one I did on my Sizzix switch, and the things tend to fall out. So if you want to keep them in, use a thinner sandwich. But what I do is this, just to make sure that they don't fall out and get lost, is just to put some tape over the back. If they have come out, put the tape over the back, turn it over, and then put the bits back in. And of course, if you've got your tape on the back, you put them in and they'll stay there because the sticky tape will hold them. Okay, so now we've got those in there, but I wanted to colour them, so this is what I used to colour that one. I cut another one, die cut it, and I was thinking I was going to use this one, and I tried to do some stone stamping here, and I hated the look of it, so I cut another one and decided to use this as a stencil. So here we go. There's where the stencil fits. Placed it carefully over. I could tape it down, but I think I'll just hold it. And I've got a blending brush, and the blending brush is a very gentle sort of colour. You can put it on really, really delicately, and you can gradually increase the intensity of the colour that you're using. So here we go. I'm going to use circular motions, round and around, and colour in. I don't know if this stones or bricks really. Now I must apologise for to those of you who've watched my videos before, in that I don't seem to have much control over how close up or whatever things are. The way I do my videos is I use my phone. It's suspended in a sort of a gooseneck type contraption attached to one of my shelves, and I control it with my watch. Now, it took me a long time to realise that the, what do you call it, that something, it's got a special name, the dial, the knob thing. If I rotate that, I can have a close-up, go forward, can you see, in and out. And I didn't realise what was happening, but I think sometimes if I had my watch too close to the rest of my hand, if I flexed my hand or something, I'd probably turn this dial, and so the enlargement went either larger or smaller. So I do apologise if you want to see things up close and you didn't, but that's what's happening. So it's the only way I can see whether I'm actually in the picture or not. So there is my wall, ready coloured, using that as a stencil. So I actually could have poked, there's lots of little, let's get a pokey tool, there's lots of little stony bits here, but I think I'll I'll go back and I'll do some of these because I think they're quite nice, these little holy bits. Didn't do that on the first one. Let's just put this back, carefully lining up the stencil with the picture, with the image underneath. Let's just do these few little stony bits. I think that was my idea when I tried before, but it didn't work out very well. There we go. That's better, isn't it? Quite like that. Now, these little bits of grass here, I used a tiny, tiny, tiny little stamp. This is a set from Art Impressions, and the little bit of grass is right there. It's tiny. Look at it. I thought I'd lost it actually, and I had to go. Oh, here's my little block. There we go. And for this one, the colour I used on the wall was hickory smoke, distress oxide, and now I'm going to use bundled sage for the bits of grass. So just randomly around the place. Whoops. I think that'll do. Maybe one more. That'll do. Right, that's that. Now all I have to do is to put my rabbit to sit on the wall. Before I put the die on to cut the wall, I just placed him where I thought he would be comfortable, so that his legs weren't hanging off the bottom of the panel and he wasn't too far up the card, etc, etc. So now this little bit is part of a paper I coloured with the relaxed shaving foam technique. What have I done with the other bit? Oh, here it is. This was the piece of paper. So that was this one, and that one is this one here. So this is just paper, because when I'm doing shaving foam, I just grab anything that's spare, doesn't matter. And this is just a piece of, I don't know if it might even be copy paper, I don't know. But the overall effect of the design is fine, but it's not always suitable for putting on to your project as by itself. So what I'm going to do now is stack these three, and I like to use this thing, which is a zig pen, because it doesn't dry immediately. It's not like using a double-sided adhesive, which you know, you've only got to touch two bits together and they're stuck forevermore. So I use this, and we'll just make sure one's neatly over the top of the other. Use a few tweezers just to make sure they're aligned, and because it's this wet glue, it will move around a bit. So now I'm going to put him on the top, and I don't normally like to glue the back of the top layer, because there's always a chance you'll get the front of it in some of the glue, and then it might show when you've finished. So I always like to glue the one below and put that on top afterwards. So I think, you know, we get so used to thinking when you're kids, if you're going to stick something on, you put the glue on the back. But I don't put the glue on the back, I put the glue on the front of the one below. So here we are. Here's his top layer. I think 3 layers is enough for him. So let's put him on there. There we go. And just stick him together. Can you see that? Yeah. There he is. Just wipe this here a moment now, get rid of that glue. Otherwise the back of my card's going to get messy. Right. Now, he's just going to fit on there, bless him. I could do a little butterfly or something for him to look at, or whatever really, but he'll be fine. I'm going to put one bit on the back here of strong glue, and the rest I'm going to just, the very bottom layer like this, I do sometimes put double-sided tape, not tape, sheet onto. There, I've just got his hands level with the top of the wall. There we are. Now all I've got to do is put on a little sentiment and then adhere it to the front of my card. And the way I would do that is with some of this skinny foam tape. So let's just put some there. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some across where the die cut bit is, because I just want it to be absolutely flat. I don't want it to bend at all when it comes to be stuck onto the front of the card. It's a bit wobbly at the moment because I don't know, the card got a bit bent, I guess, as it was being done. Put a few more bits in. Some there. Put it across there. Just a tiny bit here and there. And as I ever do with foam tape, the tackiness of it is such that it's only got to touch the card base and it sticks. And if I haven't got it quite in the right place when I first put it down, I try and pull it off and pulls the surface of the card off with it. So I have this cunning plan to avoid that, which is to put, I think some of you have seen this before, to put some glue stick just over the top of this. It retains the tackiness of, you know, this strong adhesion of the foam tape. But now what have I done with my card base? Oh, good grief. Here it is. Oh dear, there we go. Right, now then, I usually put my four fingers, my pointy fingers, underneath and keep it away from the surface of the card until I'm kind of happy, and then I'll put it down. Now, as I cut these cards myself, this one, to get the right distance at the top and the bottom and the size, it's a bit too wide at that side there. So all I'll do now is go to my trimmer and I'll take a sliver off that side just to make sure then that it is exactly in the middle. So all I've got to do now is put on a sentiment and we're done. So there you go. It's so easy. Just have a go. Thanks for watching.